Hello friends, and it's time for another live game of the REBBL Blood Bowl season. We're going to be joining two of our friends Kubasta and the Drunk Mystic in today's competition. I believe their match is just about, let's see, started. Let's see if it's actually live yet. It looks like they haven't made it all the way into their start, so we'll just pop back and take a quick look across at their rosters before we do. Wow, so what do we look at? So, we have got ourselves the Mausoleum Maniacs, who've got themselves only very minimal level ups. So they are currently rocking at 1060 team value. And I'll just make sure I've got that updated as well on my side of things. They've only got the level up on their werewolf and a dirty player. Everything else is pretty much good to go. Max Howler is the other werewolf, needs to get leveled up. We've got two zombies who've already absorbed MVPs. Trevor the Titan, who's close to go. And let's take a quick look across at the other side. Where have they gone? I'm looking everywhere but the right place. So, as a result of the previous game against my good self, the Children of June are a little bit hurting. They've got two missed next game players, including Duncan Idaho, their star gutter runner. But they still have Paul and a replacement Storm Vermin called the God Emperor Leto. So it should be a grand old time. Their team value is coming out at a clean 1,000, which means I've missed something in my calculations somewhere, but I don't know if we can figure it out. Fan Factor 3, Apothecary, Team Reroll, those are all fine. I think. Team reroll. Let's see. So these guys get rerolls for 60 times 3. 180. Oh, looks right. I must have missed something on the team value calculation. So I guess I'll just have to live with that. And that the team value calculations will be slightly off because I don't have time to go back and figure out what it is that I've messed up. Hopefully it won't be a major differential based on what it should be. Let's see. Oh, wait, did I just type it into the wrong thing? I did! Alright. Then let's waste no more time and get into the game itself. Alright, so it's going to be team value 1000 against 1060. This is a surprising thing to have happen this late on in the season. So I'm kind of curious to see how this goes. I think the team value being so low on the Skaven side of things is largely due to their injured high quality players. Otherwise their team would be a lot higher. Oh wow! We come at exactly the right time to the game, which is to see that the Skaven are getting it clobbered. Lovely stuff. Alright, let's get some game volume in. Let's bring the music down a little bit to just be a little bit of filler noise in the background. So, objective-wise for this game. So, Kubasta's team, which is the other way around. Let me get that swapped on the team value stakes. Oh, actually, we need to modify that as well. So this is a live game, so we have a little bit more time to do all that kind of nonsense in. So that was, I think, just a lime rat getting taken out. I don't think it was actually a substitute lime rat, just a regular kind, but that's still going to be... What was their name? Excuse me. It's always a little awkward to find this stuff. Alright, nothing major happening over there. Shikshali. Okay, there you go. Off. Shikshali, you're off the squad. Congratulations. Okay. So that's going to be a little bit of the edge off. I'm going to go with my calculations for the TV, even though I know that they're wrong, just because it's less of a pain for me to constantly recalculate. Anyway, enough about my preparations. So, Nasha, the ghoul, now with his filthy mud-caked claws around the ball. I do note that this is going to be one of our furriest games of the season, with, of course, the Children of June being entirely preferred. And the Necromantic team, why, they've got their fur babies in full display as well. Alright, so with one line rat down, The Drunk Mystic, unfortunately, at this point, does not have any spare players. So they're going to have to be a little bit careful not to get overrun here, especially when you've got, finally, a block werewolf in play. Admittedly, Max Howler is an awkward proposition for the Drunk Mystic, because they're going to kind of be forced to do stuff with them while they're not the most reliable of players. Mystic has only got one ghoul as a ball carrier. I think they had more before, but something must have happened to them. So we'd be expecting the ghoul to carry the ball all the way towards the end zone and hand it off, probably ideally to Max Howler, so that they can score and get closer to leveling up. Leveling up has not been the purview of Drunk Mystic so far. They have been extremely short on levels. Primarily, I think, due to some unfortunate placements of MVP, but there have been a lot of games where Mystic hasn't been getting any SPP at all. So no injuries, no scores. Oof, it's been rough times for them. For Kabusta, they have not suffered so much in the scoring stakes, but in this game where they've got 2 missing gutter runners of the 4 total they're allowed to have, so those other 2, Stilgar and Gurney Halleck, will have to pull the weight of those other gutter runners who were admittedly a lot more competent than they are. I mean, having Wrestle, that's pretty good for Gurney Halleck, though they don't have Dauntless or anything to allow for that Wrestle attempt to be a little bit more likely to succeed. So notable, even though the Gutter Runners and the Ghouls are fairly close equivalencies, the Gutter Runners have Strength 2, the Ghouls have Strength 3, so if the Gutter Runners go off the Ghouls, it's going to be a pretty tough ask, as, oof, more clobbering going on. Liamute of Hell. So that's our substitute lineman. So the Skaven came in with only 4 players today. 4 players? What are we talking about? They only came in with 10 players. And so that's why they've got a substitute line wrap. Hopefully, eventually, maybe for next season, Kabusta's going to get the chance to actually have a deep enough bench of spare players to be able to actually have spare, to have extra bodies for when the inevitable happens. As, oh boy, alright, Rabid Ronnie going for the big hit, does manage to get knocked down. So, this is unfortunately one of those targets of the Gutter Runner who is not actually affected by the Claw, given that their armor is already fairly minuscule in the first place. Oh, I realise I forgot to send my message to our Rebel friends. There we go. Okay, so the Maniacs, they've got decent control of the ball. They've managed to lock down the Gutter Runners pretty well, but there's definitely going to be an attempt on the ball carrier next turn. I don't think it's going to be a good attempt, but I think it's going to be a attempt. So, the Maniacs are making a very wide screen around their ball carrier. And they're not going to bring anyone else in to help them. Okay. I don't think they're really respecting the ability of Gurney Halleck to just pop around the side and go for the 2 red dice block. I mean, it's a little bit of a desperate act, but short of that, you're probably maybe dodging away a line rat. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's not great. Though I do respect that the Skaven linemen actually have a very, very big movement. Oh, there we go. Okay, so the assist is not coming any longer, thanks to that move back from Max Howler. We've got a decent protection, but no protection at all from this side. If I was a more cynical person, I might think that perhaps that Mystic is trying to get Kabusta to go for that pretty tough to pull off 2 red dice block. It could be the case. There's definitely something to be said for not making your opponent do things that you wouldn't like if they succeeded. To rephrase, if the only move your opponent's got left, ooh, hello, is something that requires them to roll some really good dice, and if it succeeds, it will destroy you, but it's only like a 50-50 chance of happening. you really don't want to leave them in a position where that's their only option. Because that 50% of the time that they do succeed, yeah, with their 1 dice blocks, with their dodging all their players away, you put them into a position where either they lose because of it, or they beat you because you... I don't want to say played too well. I guess there's elements of playing well in there. But I think managing your opponent's strategy, I think, is a worthwhile part of the game to be considering. Okay, actually... Let's see. So Stilgar hasn't got any real ability to take down Nasha the Ghoul. So I expect to see them just kind of getting out of the way a bit. Gurney Halleck with his ludicrous move. Okay, yeah, they're looking for the 1 dice block on the ball carrier. So that's going to be, what, 1 going for it? Oh, I'm not a big fan, because you're probably going to need the reroll for the actual block itself. But I guess your chances are pretty similar. And there we go, it worked. Unfortunately, there is nobody to pick up the ball, which is a little bit of a bummer. And I expect we will see our good friend Stilgar here pushed away by a blitz by Rabid Ronnie. Most likely. It's too important of a juncture in the game for an attempt here by Max Howler. You need to get rid of this, of Stilgar, and if you send your non-block player to do it, I mean, if you're just looking for pushes, I guess, but if you get both downs, if you're using Max Howler, and then you left the ball right here, it's going to get stolen. I think it's got to be Rabid Ronnie. I mean, you could potentially send in some of your other players, but at least with the Frenzy on the Werewolves, it's your worst case scenario is really just pushing the ball, clearing the ball carrier away, and most likely also making it so that Nasha doesn't have to dodge. So if you blitz in here, oh, I can use my Epic Pen. Let's do that. What a wonderful opportunity to scribble all over my screen. I definitely would recommend this to the other Blood Bowl streamers, as much as it's not something which... There we go. So you hit in here, and then probably going up to here with the pushes. There we go, so there's 1. And oh, you could actually put, okay, you could put them next to the other werewolf. That's fine. Okay, so there we go. The ball carrier is cleared. Do have to worry a little bit about this gutter runner later on, because there's not actually a huge amount of places you can get through the Skaven line here, because you've already used your blitz to clear the ball carrier. So your options of breaking through are kind of... Actually, no, there aren't any options for breaking through. This whole line of Skaven is going to stay intact, so I guess you're probably going to end up around here. Because this side is pretty cleared off as well. I suppose... Let's see, so... Okay, so Max Howler, who was eventually going to get the ball anyway, does now have the ball. And yeah, it makes sense to go through here. You've only got the most minimal defenses here as opposed to over there. Maybe using the a little bit unnecessary. So now at this point, there's going to be, I'd imagine, a pretty slow progression of the Necromantic team down the field. As, oh boy, yeah, fouling Gurney Halleck off the field. Get out of here! Okay, that's a KO. That's a lot of active team value stripped out. Let's see, it says 8-18. Alrighty. So things are not looking good for the Children of Dune. So after the match last week, the Children of Dune have got a very small chance of ending at the top of towards the top of the season. I don't think it's that much chance to actually win anymore. Yes, Mizra, I thought that was a good foul as well, especially in a game where the Skaven team are really short on their gutter runners. So you've just taken out you've taken out the wrestle gutter runner. I think that's, I don't think anyone would ever see that as anything but a sensible move. Alright, so we've got the stand firm. Oh. No, I have got the skill showing. Yes. So the flesh golems making, of course, excellent cage corners because of their stand firm being built in. Where are we? That's where we should be. So Max Howler remains safe. A consequence of having the ball on not the ghoul and on the skillless werewolf is that it's going to mean that you have to keep them super protected, because anything is quite liable to knock them over. They haven't got dodge, they haven't got block. They are a bit of a liability at this point, which is, again, a good reason to get them some SVP. Alright, so we can get up Trevor here, bring in some of the whites. Alright, well, it's a lesson worth learning, it's a lesson worth repeating of not making your blocks before you make your moves. And in this case, the ball carrier is left entirely open. Mystic. Oh, Mystic. You did so well on the foul. To be fair, I think even the best Blood Bowl players will get caught out more than once with that whole thing if they think that perhaps it'll be fine just this time. Just this one time. Alright, so what do we have here? What's likely to happen? So I think we have this guy moving up here. This one probably just getting out of the way. And then our Blitzer, or Storm Vermin, coming in here and making the 2 dice hits. There you go, I can even draw on the, even write on the screen. Oh, I mean, yeah, I guess it works from the other side too. So ball goes wild, but it does go into a favourable position for the Necromantic team. Well, I say that. It's... If the gutter runners were up at this point, for example, Stilgar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think Stilgar could definitely get into position. I would probably still go for a pickup at this point if I'm the Skaven team. Why didn't Kabusa blitz with a mighty blow? That's an excellent question, Mizra. I can only presume that they didn't realise, or that they forgot, or some combination of two. It didn't seem to be a strategic reason, anyway. Okay, so I can never tell between... This is Kick, isn't it? Yes, Kick rather than Dirty Player. They have... I mean, I guess their icons aren't really that similar, but they kind of... I think the Dirty Player one is so confusing as to what it's trying to put across. That I genuinely wouldn't mind seeing a version of the Blood Bowl icons where they just included the abbreviation, like DP, or like K small I for kick or something. It wouldn't exactly look pretty, but it'd be a hell of a lot clearer. Alright, so it looks to be like the Skaven are setting up for the ball grab and the ball toss. They've got a reroll, so it's not super unlikely. I'm assuming that this Lady Jessica with sure hands and accurate after leveling up for the first time last game will be our candidate for ball picker-uppering. It's not that unlikely. There you go, sure hands. Probably going to go for the dodge away. No? Okay, oh, the handoff. Sensible, sensible. The least dice rolling involved. Alright. So, tough times at the Mausoleum. Whew. Yeah, I think that was probably the best move that Kabusta could have done at that point. I mean, as much as the Maniacs were... I'm not going to say they were unlucky to be in that position, because I don't think they were. As much as it was unfortunate for the Maniacs, let's put it that way, that they were in that position. Which is almost the same thing, but I think unfortunate maybe has less of a connotation of they deserved better. Whereas I think 2-die block, starting off the turn with a 2-die block, is still unnecessarily risky when you don't need to. So, alright, so let's talk a little bit about what we could see happen here. I'm really going to change the hotkeys for the pen thing since it keeps turning off the display. So we've got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we're probably not going to see a werewolf blitz this turn. We could see a hit here to at least get next to the ball carrier. I think a 1-dice block I get to play with that block is acceptable under the circumstances. Hopefully we get the... So the zombies are not very good at getting around anyone, so I hope we would see maybe one into here, then maybe one over to here, just to at least force some dodges, then probably bringing the ghoul round to here to at least get in the way if this stuff does go poorly. Oh, that's right, yes. If you... If you do get the blitz... If you do get the knockdown here, then you can make 1 dodge into 2 tackle zones if you want to try and blitz the ball carrier. It's not great, I know. But, what can you do, huh? I don't think dodging into 2 tackle zones is necessarily... I mean, if the alternative is you just can't get on the ball carrier at all, I don't think that's that bad. Well, because you need like a 5? Yeah, there we go. So, oh, that... Okay, naturally that doesn't make a difference either way. So yes, I mean, tell me if you can see a better way, Mitra, but... So that's the 1 dodge at -2. I think it's achievable. It's certainly not as bad as jumping into a cage in terms of sheer unlikelihood. But I don't think you have the other options, so let's get rid of this lot. So we've got movement 8. Oh? Yeah, so you can get down the side here. I suppose, so something which is throwing me off, which is not normally the case, is that the balls actually are just on a line rat. Whereas in every other circumstance for a Skaven team, it's going to be on a gutter runner. So the idea that you could successfully just hem in the ball carrier without actually making a block is a little alien to me. So that was 2 going for it to end up there. Okay, so there wasn't actually a blitz possible if you want to just go for the round the houses play rather than the straightforward one. I think you might still be willing to go for it with Nasher, just because if they fail, then who cares? And you haven't used your blitz at this point. Gutless Gary? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Oh, alright, so they're going for the more conservative play. Which, I think that's totally fine. You put another body in the way of the progress of the Skaven. Ooh. Okay. They're fine, everybody. They're fine. The whites on the Necromantic team are extremely underleveled. I mean, Mystic has been struggling to level up their wolves, let alone their whites. And even though the whites can be a really big part of what makes their team work functionally well. Being as they're just basically blitzers. And who doesn't love blitzers? Okay, so what can we get going on here? So we can move... Oh, excuse me. So we can move this rat in here to give a 2-die block onto the werewolf, which I think is pretty good. In fact, you could blitz up, hit the werewolf back to here, and then make a run for it up the side of the pitch. If the werewolf gets knocked down, I think you've got a pretty good chance at scoring. I've got to start remembering how to change colours. Because it gets a bit confusing otherwise. So yeah, my prediction is we see a dodge away to here. And then just running up 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So around here. Would help if I can count. I think it's probably a little, there's maybe one more space than that. Okay. I mean, Okay. So, presumably what's going to happen here then is we're going to be seeing a blitz from the ball carrier to make a push away on this ghoul. And then just running up the pitch, which I guess is fine. It's pretty unlikely to actually get a knockover, but I suppose it's more likely going to be that you're just looking to avoid having to make a dodge on a player who doesn't have dodge, which I guess is fair enough. And I think you also do get a second hit on the player as well, if you really wanted. I guess in an ideal world, Cabasa's going to be getting the ball to this gutter runner, but I don't think it's going to happen. Okay, so there you go, chain push. I mean, it does... Okay, there we go. I thought for a second that we were going to push it back to here, but no. Okay, so yeah, I think that's a... there was a few different ways I think Cabasta could have approached that one, but they did successfully get in. Yes, this is our last hope for Mystic. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And yes, they are extremely slow. So that's 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. So if they're willing to dodge a zombie into a tackle zone and make 2 going for it, then a blitz could happen. Okay, well now no longer is it possible to get the blitz. There we go. Yeah, I think Cabasta dotting the I's, crossing the T's there to make sure that their score is beyond doubt. This is... Man, it's almost unrecognizable. The ghoul? Oh, actually, I didn't consider the ghoul. Okay, so ghoul goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ish. Yeah, I think that's right. I think it's the ghoul. You've still got, yeah, it's not, okay, that's a nice block as well. I think that's maybe takes a square off of your required movement. At least if you're willing to go past here, which maybe you are. Okay, let's run the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 1 going for it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, never mind. Silly camera. I might actually turn that off because it's making life a little bit tricky for me. Where are you? Oh, is it not on this screen? Oh, there we go. Auto recentering camera. So there's a possibility it might end up missing a few things because of this, but I think having manual camera on is probably better if I'm going to be scribbling on the screen. I'm going to try and keep all the players in view all the time anyway. So back to what we were looking at. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 going for it. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with 1 dodge. Okay, so it's better. Am I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, okay. I was going to say, those don't look like they're very different to me. Oh, is my pen not showing up? Oh, darn it. Is it misbehaving itself? No, you're right. For some reason, the pen is not showing up. Let me just see if I can fix that. How strange. It was working before. Let me give myself a little bit of light as well. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of... Oh. Right, there we go. Thank you, Caldegum, for pointing that out, because I had tested the pen before previously, but it looks like the settings went a bit wonky. So now, when I draw on the screen, it'll be visible. Oh boy, I think I need a thicker line, though. Otherwise, looking at this, it doesn't stand out well at all. There we go. Ooh, maybe that's a bit too thick. Alright, we'll figure it out eventually. There we go, medium. A happy medium. So, while I've been distracted for the most crucial point, it looks to be that the Skaven have done a pretty good job of creating a sort of line there. Ooh, a failed pickup though. Oh, it was a handoff. Okay. Some might say that Drunk Mystic is never lucky. I think it was extremely unlikely to fail with a reroll. So there we go. It looks like it's going to be time to kill over here on the touchdown line. I think this is going to be, what, a maximum, like, 1 turn, because Sir Charles is probably coming, and a failed dodge there is not so great either. The classic rat stall, yes. It's classic for a reason. I fully expect to see some hurt put onto these. So given that Claw only affects the Storm Vermin in this match, I'm fully expecting to see the werewolves actually go after the Storm Vermin at some point. But it hasn't happened so far. But yeah, so with the arrival of Sir Charles the Cursed, this is the signal for Combustor that they cannot stall any further. In fact, of course they couldn't stall any further. Oh no, wait, no, they do have 2 more turns left. I'll take it back. It seems fairly unlikely that the Necromantic team are going to score on their... after the Skaven score. They'll have, what, 1 turn to do it in. Being scored against in their own drive is pretty crushing for your chance of the victory, of course. Does Combustor have any KO'd? Ooh. Let's have a look. Just the one rat, Gurney Halleck. So that's the Gutter Runner. They were fouled off the pitch before. For the Maniacs, they've got nobody sent out at all. Despite their multitudinous attempts to foul the crap out of everyone. And I think... are we going to have a foul on a Line Rat? Maybe. It is a double assisted foul. But yeah, I mean, I don't see there being any way. Maybe the thrower? Oh, fouling the thrower. Yeah, actually that does make a lot of sense. That's a hell of a lot more valuable of a player. Nimble Nobby being sent to the sin bin. I think if that was even an armor break, which I'm not sure it was. No. A double one. Oof. You see, if you had Sneaky Git, you'd still be here. That's a skill that nobody takes. Agility, making it so if you fail to successfully foul someone that you don't get sent off. I think it's pretty good. I mean, admittedly, I'm not sure that many players actually have the skill access to be able to get it easily. It's kind of like... I feel like it's almost like a discount version of Dirty Player for goblins, primarily. Because it means they can just sort of foul with impunity. Which is pretty good. Or I guess make unassisted fouls with impunity. Where they're unlikely to succeed, but you won't suffer any negative consequences if they do. Yeah, Calder, I think you're right. It's just for goblins and halflings. There we go. So I think for a lot of other teams that would consider fouling, they will primarily consider fouling when they are likely to just... they're already getting enough assists that you almost automatically broke through armor anyway. So in that case, a Sneaky Git's not going to do anything for you. I think maybe it's a doubled skill is too expensive for a player you're planning on fouling with anyway. Alright, so on to the Drunk Mystic's second attempt at the ball. I think for Mystic, they are currently... Actually, I should have checked this, but I believe... Actually, no, wait. I can check on the internet. Is that not convenient? Let's see. Let's go on to REBBL.net. And onto the G-Man standings. And I, who's the most prepared of all the people, will be able to tell. So... let's see. So Children of Dune come into this one 2 wins, 1 loss, 2 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses. Mausoleum Maniacs come in without a single win so far. So they're gonna have a tough old time. For the Maniacs, I mean, they almost feel like with the last place finishing with barely any levels on their players, they haven't really progressed a huge amount in the context of the tournament. It does mean, I suppose, that they're not going to get put into a high division later on, and they can maybe make up for lost time, given a lot of their players are fairly close to leveling. I say a lot of them. When I say a lot of them, I mean a lot of zombies. But that's because the zombies keep getting MVPs. Bring on the day when we can have the new MVP rule, and we don't have to worry about such soonness. Oh boy! Alright, sweltering heat. It is one of the sillier weather conditions. So this is quite the time to have sweltering heat turn up, because it means that the second half, both teams could potentially be missing, you know, none, or most of their players. This certainly helps the rats a lot. What helps the rats a lot, Calder? Sweltering heat? Could you expand? I mean, both of the teams have got a fair amount of chaff players. I'd imagine the sweltering heat's going to mostly have its biggest impact on whether or not it hits the positional players. So we've got the 6 positional players for the undead team, and 3 for the Skaven. Their KO'd Gutter Runner did not come back. Though they won't be affected by sweltering heat, at least. So is that what you mean, Calder, that the Skaven have got less important positionals, and so they're less likely to be seriously affected by sweltering heat? Normally, maybe the rats would have some spare players, but in this case, they don't. Alright, so Rabid Ronnie doesn't get too much done in the one turn that's remaining. Expect we're going to see a pass here, or a pass attempt by Nasher, because why not? You've already used the blitz up, so there's no more to be accomplished there. You can make a pass to Max Howler. There will be one more turn in this for the Skaven team. Though, as to putting your players in contact with them so they can punch you, not a fan. Oh, I see, Calder. Yes, so it's easiest when there's less players. The higher movement, less players on the pitch, higher movement attribute players are able to get around with less roadblocks in the way. That makes sense. Calder, I can see that you have a finer strategic mind than I. I'm definitely not an experienced coach particularly with agility teams. So I guess the sweltering heat doesn't come up that much either. That I haven't really put thought into that. But thank you for illustrating your point for me. I will keep that in my heart going forwards. No attempt to pass the ball from Mystic seems weird. Alright, it was kind of Mystic to put their players all in position to get punched. And it looks to be that Kavasta is more than happy to oblige. Nothing too serious. But the other white's going to get clobbered as well. Probably, if that happens, then the werewolf will get hit too. So that's 3 blocks that were pretty unnecessary. Oh no, Calder, what happened with in your game because of the weather roll? Was it another sweltering heat? Is that the reason you know about that whole thing is because that exact thing happened to you? Ooh, dim-witted Dennis! Let's see, badly hurt. Will they regenerate? No! So I should really start adjusting team values now, actually, because we've got, let's see, we've got dim-witted Dennis. Oh, the camera just still moved by itself, okay. Yep, and Rabid Ronnie gets KO'd as well. Oh boy, okay, so Rabid Ronnie is KO'd. Dim-witted Dennis is badly hurt and Nim will not be sent off. Okay, so that puts down our Necromantic team to 840. We'll see if that's just about to change with a half changing over. A 2-1 win becomes a 3-2 loss very quickly. Oof. Yeah. Alright, so that Gutter Runner is coming back. Of course, those 2 zombies are not. And the werewolf is also sitting out. No, wait, no, they came back just at the last second. Okay. Okay, so that's just the 2 sent off and badly hurt players over here. Oh, excuse me, the game's trying to wrestle with me. And it's just Shiskali, the badly hurt lineman, over here. Okay. So, if I don't miss my guess, and it's quite possible I do, it's already been a long day and it hasn't barely even started, that the team value is actually favouring the Rats team pretty heavily right now because of so much. Oh wait, what am I talking about? Oh, excuse me. Oh boy. Right. So back to the calculations board. Oh, that's right, yes. So So 980 team value for the Necromantic team. Did I mess something up there? No, okay. We're basically back to where we started, I suppose. But that doesn't really make too much sense. Let me see, am I missing something in my calculations? I don't know. I feel like there should be... So the rats have only got one... They've only lost one player, so I think their team value is about right. Because so much of their team value, again, is tied up in their proper players. So, to 1060, they started off with 1110, 1060. I don't know, whatever, let's not worry about the team value too much. I realise that it's not exactly the most entertaining of things to spend time talking about. Though I suppose there's not a huge amount else to talk about right now. Let's see, so actually, of course, there is something to talk about, which is sweltering heat. So, wait, has nobody been affected by sweltering heat? Cal, the stats, I do agree, are so exciting. I realised I didn't get ready quite enough in time, so I'm kind of now fighting my own stat sheet as I'm trying to figure out where I've made mistakes coming into this, which is what is throwing off the calculations. Because sometimes it's a little bit tricky to find that 10 or 20 team value. Oh, actually, Kala, I don't know if you're being sarcastic, but I'm going to trust that you're not being. And if you'd like to see... Let's see. The stats I'm working from, they are here. I've made up my own custom stat sheet to allow for me to keep track of team values. In this case, it's become a little frustrating because I'm pretty sure that I'm not trusting it anymore. Yes, the not so sweltering heat. It's amazing. Let's see, I don't know if they actually list... Yeah, there we go, sweltering heat rolls there. 2+, 2+, so there was not a single sweltering heat roll failed. Man, that's crazy. Calder, I'm glad you do like the sheet. It takes... You have to put in the work ahead of time to make sure it's correct. Otherwise, you end up in a situation here where you just end up getting confused. And, oh man, so we've gone from sweltering heat to a blizzard. So going for it's a more risky, and only short passes allowed, which probably isn't going to affect a huge amount. But we do have a thrower on the Skaven team. Beautiful. Evidently this game taking place deep within the Chaos Waste, where weather is just very British, I suppose, where you just don't know what the hell you're getting any given day, even partway through any given day. Alright, so there we go. Mighty Blow onto Max Howler. Clobberific. I do think that it would be kind of fun if there was a tendency towards a certain weather type at certain times of year. Ooh. Ooh, okay. So, Jamis the Jammy, which is a name I gave to them because it seemed to fit. It's true, yes, it's got to be like global warming. So down to 990. Because Jamis was actually the kick line rat. So they were actually worth something. Yes, it is. It's climate change, isn't it? In this case, the climate being changed from one extreme to the other. I'm amazed there's no tornado in Blood Bowl, honestly. That would seem to fit Blood Bowl's sort of aesthetic. Do I really mean that? I mean, like, its sort of attitude to how much it cares about the game being sensible. I could totally see a tornado spell, like, being added to the game that functioned very similarly to a Fanatic. where it would be like an area of effect fanatic that would move around randomly. I think that'd be pretty fun, actually. I could go for that. It would just cut off a certain part of the pitch because you just couldn't go near it. Oh, that's a little unfortunate. And that's doubly unfortunate. Jeez. Well, I mean, it is. So, if we take account of the Blizzard, those going for it were, yeah, they were failed on a 2. Yeah, both of them were 2s. Oh, Calder, what are these pitch rules? I know there is a little bit of that in the computer game version, where I think you can upgrade your pitch to have, I think, stuff that causes damage to players who are going for it and stuff like that. But I imagine there must be probably more on the, jeez, on the tabletop than there can be in the computer game. That's some efficient blocking from Kabusta there. So they get to go across, slap Max Howler with Mighty Blow. Didn't get an injury again. But I imagine they'll keep trying to do that again and again. And then come back and make the assist elsewhere. Very nice, very nice. Okay. So the ball is still not picked up. So again, it's going for it and only short passes allowed. So it's not minuses to passing, it's just they're only short passes allowed. Which I think is pretty cool. Yeah, the blitz in the Blizzard, that would have succeeded, that blitz, had it not been for the Blizzard, because they were both 2s. I mean, it's very easy to not take account of something which doesn't come up. So, in the last example, Sweltering Heat. In this example, they're going for it, but I wouldn't mind some milder versions of these same things being brought in. I think that's maybe what the special play cards are for tabletop, is to introduce a little bit more randomness. Okay, so Kabusta doesn't get the pickup. Oh man, a Dark Elf pitch getting attacked by a Kraken. That sounds amazing, Calder. Like, the Cyanide and Focus, they've left so much money on the table by not having stuff like that for Blood Bowl 2. This could be such a money spinner for them. Because, yeah, like, that sounds amazing. I would pay money for a pitch that had, like, that you could look around and be like, there's the Kraken! And it could be a thing that you could show off. Like, you could customize your pitch with different little things you could earn or pay to unlock. Like, there could be so much money in this game. But it's just, yeah, they just didn't do it. I hope for Blood Bowl 3 as much as I don't necessarily want them to nickel and dime for every single feature, if they are making money from Blood Bowl, they're much more likely to carry on supporting it. So I want them to find ways to monetize Blood Bowl in definitely not a pay to win way. I'd rather have all the teams be free and just have it be a purely cosmetic things that you pay for. I think that would be tons better. I don't think having to pay, at this point, making everyone pay for the teams for a third time over again, I just think is going to alienate your base. The player base of Blood Bowl are the players who've been playing it for a long time, and then all the players even the players who've been playing it for a medium amount of time who've got Blood Bowl 2 are probably not going to want to buy the races again. So I think just removing that problem and taking races out of the consideration would sidestep that pretty well. Anyway, enough of my rambling, because we've got a wolf who's on the prowl. It's Rabid Ronnie right on the path towards the ball, which is, of course, most likely to end up going from here to here. Oh, darn it. See, I thought I turned off the automatic recentering of the camera, but I think maybe, yeah, it's going to keep on changing the camera, whatever I do. Okay. Alright, I guess if I zoom out far enough, it will stop doing that. So, ball goes from here to here, and then from here up to here. There is a werewolf just off camera up here, though. So that's definitely not necessarily a safe move. I'm just going to check actually that's coming up on the OBS, okay? Yeah, it is. Okay, good. But yeah, I'd love to get more theme stuff. You know, I think you could pay to get like special, you know, to get really obnoxious player kits. You could pay to unlock those as well. You could pay to unlock, you know, various different sort of themed teams, like a, you know, a Reichland version of the human team that had, you know, particular theming to its costumes, that kind of stuff, but it wouldn't be functionally different. Though I wouldn't be totally against having a more variant human teams. Pay premium for hot pink Norse teams. You know I would, Carla. You know I would. Like, you know, you just let the artists have an absolute field day with come out with all sorts of silly nonsense, because Blood Bowl, the Blood Bowl setting, conveniently, designed by the punk designer, just doesn't give a crap about anything. So you can just do what you like. Like, you could have, like, you know, anything. You could literally put anything into the game, no matter how anachronistic it would be to the Warhammer setting. It just doesn't matter, because you've got the advantage of being, it's not the Warhammer world, it's, you know, it's something that just resembles it. Alright, so, is that what we're going to get? There could be a pass here. There's not a pass. So if the ball goes over to here, you've got a decent screen. If it doesn't... Okay, there we go. I love Agility 4 players, and that's why I love having two catchers on Kislev, because you can actually pass each other pretty well. And what's going on? Okay. Oh, there we go. Good. So we've got two Storm Vermin doing their best attempt to take down Trevor the Titan, who's close to leveling. No can do. It looks like there wasn't going to be a serious attempt to make it up this side of the pitch because of these two bad boys who are sitting in wait. So I think if the Flesh Golem can be taken out, that allows for the movement up, and then to at least deal or get some Skaven presence in the top of the pitch, which currently there is none. And with that hit, ooh, Farok down like a sack of potatoes. Down to 940. I don't think this is a done deal. So, given that the Skaven... Okay, so the Skaven can't really go this way. Because of this werewolf. They can't go this way because of this werewolf. Wait a second. There you go. Yes, I've got to change the shortcut to something else. I think there's... So where do they go? Because if they can't blitz one of these werewolves away, their gutter runners will be kept up with. One of the very few teams that actually have blitzing players who can keep up with a gutter runner. Okay. I think you push them towards the ball carrier, yeah. And now you've got at least an enforced dodge. There's nothing... There's nothing really stopping the gutter runner from just dodging away here, though, and getting up and past. I think next turn Trevor the Titan is going down. So you can move the ball carrier up here. Trevor gets knocked over. This gutter runner... Gosh darn it. Let's forget for not zooming the camera out far enough. This gutter runner moves in for the assist. Whereas... Oh man. Unfortunately, the snow doesn't make it very easy to tell what's going on at the best of times, and it's insistent on centering the camera on the person making the play, even when they are still clearly in view. Which is a little bit annoying. I might just need to pause the game while I'm drawing out a play, which isn't great. I think I've accidentally made this bigger as well. Let me fiddle with the settings. Okay, I'll have to fit all those another time, I suppose. Alright. So there's one gutter runner breaking away. Oh, actually one of the storm vermin got taken out. You could still go for a 2 red dice block against the flesh golem, but with the stand firm in place, the chance of that doing anything useful for you are pretty slim. I think Kabusta might actually lose the ball here. Let's see. So without the presence around here to be able to keep them safe, I think they might struggle to keep the ball from being taken. So we've got the rabbit running down here that's kind of stopping you from getting out of the bag. You could go through, but anywhere you can go now, you can be followed by the werewolf. Unless you're going to go up and past. 3+ dodge, handoff, and 2 3+ dodges to make the ball safe. Well, dodging it does not seem to be going so well. There's the reroll burn. Okay. Yeah, so the sideline cage is alright. I think there's a decent chance, though, that you're going to end up with a situation where the werewolf blitzes, hits to here, and then hits to here, actually blocking off your ability to move any further forwards. So that could be a bit awkward. Oh man, another failed dodge. Sheesh. Okay, so Trevor the Titan is probably going to knock over Paul Mordeep, which opens up some of the options here. You can get a 2-die block on this Lime Rat. You can get another 2-die block over here. And Sir Charles the Curse could come in to provide the assists. I think you're looking alright here for Mystic, though it's not by any means a done deal. I think you could probably get the ball back and score a draw. I mean, this is all precluded on there not being a successful dodge away from a gutter runner, which is a pretty poor thing generally to be gambling on. Because even if you were to do all that nonsense, you're still just forcing Stilgar to dodge away. So, assuming there's a surround on the Skaven team, they're probably just going to move away in that kind of vector. Unless you completely block it off. Which I guess you could do with by moving the ghoul into this kind of position. Gosh darn. But I think it's probably going to be a frenzy block here. Okay, so the ghoul is now in position to block off the immediate exit. It's still within the realms of plausibility, though, that they do it. So this is the assist being moved up for the blitz. And Rabid Ronnie is a lot more reliable, but is further away, so he's probably going to have to make a second going for it. Because you actually don't want to get the knockover on the first time round, because you would end up just leaving a space to run through. Okay, so it will be the going for it. So I expect to see push for this first one? Okay. Guess not. Frenzy means you're going to have to follow up, so there's no chance of sneaking around the side. Oh, actually. Okay, no, that's fine. Oh, no. So you've just blocked off the route that your werewolf could have taken. Admittedly, it would have required a dodge, but you could have, I think, gotten around the front here. I guess it's still okay. So at this point, surf the gutter. Oh, I must have missed the surfing opportunity. Okay. I think if I'm Combustor here, I'm probably just looking to make a 2 red dice block against Nasha. And hope to get a push. It's a bit risky though. I don't know what other options you've got. I mean, if you're going to make 2 dodges into, 2 tackle zones, it's not impossible. Is there better options? Let's see, you can make a 1 dice block here with Mighty... No, 2 dice block with Mighty Blow. So that's not too shabby. It doesn't really advance your cause in any meaningful way. But I guess it does at least improve your presence. So the rest of the players... So Lady Jessica's been sitting around at the back for a while. Would like to see her be gotten up and moved closer to where she can actually do something. Or at least get in the way. It's a testament to the power of the Skaven team that they can at this point just be like, screw it, I'm just gonna run down. So 4+, 3+, 2+ with dodge and 1 die. The kill with Mighty Blow. Alright. So there we go. Oh, it's going to be a chain push. Wait, no it's not. Wait, if they pushed them there, they would have been able to push them off the pitch. They seem to have... Didn't Combustor just not make life a lot harder for themselves by doing that? Maybe they're saying something I'm not. So now at least it's... Well, at least it's a dodge -1. And then a dodge -1. And then... Okay. Sure. Hand off. Yeah, I mean, it's not that unlikely. And you've got a reroll, so... That pretty much cements the match. To be fair, I think I'm a little bit blind to handoffs a lot of the time. Because I'm not, again, not used to playing in duality teams where they can be fairly reliable. I'm so averse to... Also risk averse by playing the average agility teams that I don't really sort of consider them. I think that's fair enough. So let's take a look back at some of those dice. So it was a 6 on the catch, and the dodges were all good. Yeah. At least now I see why there wasn't an attempt on the surf, because it was going to be the hand up instead. So the werewolves are both tied up where they don't need to be. There's now a screen of gutter run of Skaven in the way. Oh well, let the surfing begin. Pinch punch first of the month. So you've still got Skaven here, and Skaven here. You are probably not... This will at least be a chance for some quite serious Skaven punching. Though I don't think your werewolves really do need to get away and start chasing the ball carrier, otherwise they're going to be stalling out for multiple more turns. So I think you probably want to be blitzing with Sir Charles the Cursed to free up rapid running, just get them moving, or you're trading off an extra turn for the chance of the blitz. Sir Charles the Curse is definitely nowhere near as good at chasing the ball. It's going to be tempting to go for that hit onto Chani, the lineman, with the werewolf, but I think it's a mistake, especially considering that Max Howler is really out of position. There we go. Looks like we're of the same mind. So Sir Charles can now move up. I guess probably end up over here. Got about three more movement left. Maybe here, maybe here. I think on this side is a little bit better. Okay, sure. That's going to enable another 2 dice block. Not too bad. Okay. So I'm guessing we are probably going to be seeing... Whoop. As far as I can go. So let's take another quick look around. So we've still got Dennis and Nobby taken out. And, oh yeah, so Farrokh, Jamis, and they're all Lime Rats who've been injured so far. There we go, legging it up the pitch. What a scallywag. Though... it's still not a done deal unless Kabusta next turn just scores, which I can't see why they wouldn't. Ugh. Because that guarantees them the win. Versus... there doesn't seem to be any reason to try and stall further. Alright. Lady Jessica. KO'd. Bristleberry. Sent off. Okay. Let's update our numbers. They're slowly getting whittled away. And... surprising. But, okay. Sure. There's the blitz. Score surely next. I do enjoy a person who will dance in front of the... Actually, that's 100% a thing for Blood Bowl 3. Your players should be able to taunt. You should be able to unlock taunts with levels. You should be able to... yeah, this is a... not the most mature. They are the Blood Bowl developers. Hey, Keller. Oh, hello. Sir Pickles, hello from the Big O. Why, it's lovely to have you guys here. I work with quite a few Australian casters. I know it's not just Australia in Big O, but Sir Pickles, it's wonderful to have someone from the other side of the planet dropping by to say, hey, we're just coming to the end of one of our week 6? We're in week 6? Yeah, I think we're in week 6. I hope so. Week 6 matches. Oh, or is it week 7? Let's see. Did I post the wrong thing the whole time? It is week 6. Okay, thank you for the reassurance. I suddenly started doubting myself. Oh, that's right, because there's only... I don't know. I'm just going to pretend like I know what I'm doing. Alright, so it's still snowing. Those halcyon days of the sunshine that was so bright it literally affected nobody, and which was quite impressive. Children of June gonna get to move themselves around a bit. I don't know if they necessarily want to do a huge amount here, apart from maybe block off the werewolves. I mean, at this point, it's a little petty for Kabusta to do anything to mess with the werewolves, being that they've guaranteed themselves a win. But yeah, I think so. There's 7 weeks total of the season, isn't there? At least that's my understanding based on the upcoming matches that I have. So not everybody plays everybody. In our division, the two top teams, Underworld and High Elves, won't be playing each other. Yeah, 7 weeks for Division 5. Thank you, Kelda. Because I started to confuse myself because I was thinking, that's not enough weeks to cover everybody. I think I did at one point read what the reasoning was on that, which I cannot recall at this point. There's a lot of... Before I joined REBBL, I did do a ton of reading, but ultimately, I still don't understand everything. There's a lot going on. Alright, so this part of the game, most significant for the Mausoleum Maniacs, run by a Drunk Mystic, to get some freaking SPP. Let's check around the most important players. Werewolves. So, pretty much where they started. The Whites. Well, at least one injury SPP, that's something. And another one for Frankie Flesh Ripper. So if the MVP goes to somewhere sensible for once, for the Drunk Mystic squad, they might actually get a level out of this, which would be major because that would be their 3rd level on the team overall. Let's see. So if the... Yeah, the biggest thing I think that can happen for the Maniacs in this half is that they can get the ball to Max Howler, and Max Howler can score. Yes, Mizra. We're all rooting for Mystic to score what I think might be their first touchdown, I want to say. Let's see. Yes, Mystic. So, as much as Mizra, you are on the highest touchdown difference in the division. Mystic is actually the complete opposite. So you're ahead by 10. Mystic is behind by 11. I'm not convinced they've actually scored a touchdown yet. They may have scored 1 or 2, but certainly not anyone's that won any games. But yeah, they do actually have 0 touchdowns. Thank you, Calder. I should have... That's something to watch out for, I suppose. I'm learning a lot from my first season of doing coverage for this Blood Bowl League. I did do it for the Newell before, but there's always more to learn. Conceding at least 2 in every match. Yeah, that sounds about right. I think Caldegum, the Maniacs, have been conceding 3 or 4 in a couple of matches. What is going on with this? I mean, it's kind of cool, but I have to press escape to get out of it. Alright. I think the Skaven actually do try and stop this, because this is going to be a pretty freaking fast score from the Necromantic side of things. It's not impossible that they then score again. And for Kabusta, they cannot afford to lose this game. Or even draw this game if they want to stand any chance of... I mean, this is a match really just for pride, because Kabusta's, after losing to my Kislev team last week, is unlikely to make the top of the table, but they would do a lot better if they do get wins from here on out. Yeah, there we go. The power of block. It's too good. Too good. So we've got the Wrestle Gutter Runner, who's probably going to make a crack at the Werewolf. I don't know if they'll have any support though, which is very important. Did we even have a blitz in that round? I don't think we did. Okay, so you're probably going to end up pushing them next to the sideline. And because Max Howler has no skills and no supporting players, they actually are probably going to struggle to get out. So let's run the play. Okay, so now we've got a 2-die block with Wrestle. I am probably not going to keep drawing on the screen, or trying to write on the screen, because it looks terrible. Yeah, I don't think that Mystic's going to score here. It seems like it's with a reroll. Well, I suppose it's only a 1 dice block. The other Kabusta's currently missed next gaming player is Gutter Runner, has got Dauntless to allow these blitzes to be much better. Caldegun, the Skaven are probably going to try for a 1-turn touchdown. I think that's quite likely. It looks like they're currently setting up to allow themselves a much more likely standard score, though they're going to be using up both of their Gutter Runners to actually get this done. Okay, so reroll. Okay. So we now run into the problem which I was talking about before for Mystic, which is that his werewolf has no skills, so actually getting away from the situation could be tricky, especially with the frenzy forcing the follow-up. You could bring a white down to get the push away. Let's see. Hopefully the game won't steal my camera again. So if you go 1... Nope, it will, of course. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And going for it. The thing is, you really need to be hitting the Skaven back this way, or you're going to end up having to make a dodge. Yeah, Kabustas and Mystics both don't have any rerolls left. That's going to be a problem. Whoops. Don't use the minimize to click back into Blood Bowl, or it will get very upset. Oh, well, that makes life a lot easier. So now it's just a regular dodge. I think you've got to go for it though, surely. Oh my gosh, it's the rarest of all the rare beasts. It's a score for the Werewolves of the Mausoleum Maniacs. What a good boy. What a good boy, Max Howler. Have a biscuit. Yes, Mizra 100% behind the Drunk Mystic and their rise to power. It's still looking like it's going to be a fairly convincing victory for the Skaven team, but still, that's one more werewolf that's closer to being an actual menace, closer to the possibility of picking up Mighty Blow and becoming a murderous player, closer to having a Mausoleum Maniac teams that does really anything at all. Alrighty, so we're back into the hands of Kabusta. It is going to be an attempt at the 1-turn touchdown. Caldegun, oh, you have got yourself a nice emote. Where does that referee emote come from? Is that a standard one? If so, I'm going to start using it myself. So, 1-turn touchdown. I mean, Mystic could... Oh, it's just a standard one. Sick. I am going to have to look up what that is. Referee emoji. That did not take me to the right place. Huh. Oh, I can't find out. Is that a standard emote? Because I can't find it on Google. FB touchdown. Interesting. I've never encountered that myself. That's... I'm going to go try it in my Twitch chat. Oh yeah, no kidding. Sweet, thank you. FB touchdown. Football, I guess, touchdown. Alright, I've been killing a little bit of time while the setup has been going on for the Children of Dune, because, yeah, so, for any of you guys who may not be aware, which is probably, I think you're probably more aware than I am, that we're going to have a grouping of players here, as I believe Sir Ryan the Rotter will be pushed back into the hole here, and this will allow for, eventually, Gurney Halleck to kind of getting popped out of this cluster and one step closer to the end zone. It does not look like the Drunk Mystic has decided to go for any attempt at stopping a one-turn touchdown. So they haven't, for example, set up players in this area or this area to mess with it, which is fair enough. Like, Mystic has very little to gain at this point by doing that. The game is a done deal. Did we already... Okay, so as fun as one blizzard was, now we have a double blizzard, which does the same as a regular blizzard. But I don't think the blizzard ever stopped, did it? I don't know. It looked like the weather changed from a blizzard to a blizzard. Alright, so that's part one. So now, I presume what we need to do is see a push onto here, which will push them out there. Which seems quite doable. It doesn't actually seem that hard. The blizzard! The blizzard never changes. There we go. Lovely. Blizzard, blizzard, all day long. Blizzard, blizzard, sing the song. Okay, so let's kind of want to... So they still are short of getting a touchdown. Unless I'm missing something. Weird camera bug. Let's see. Yeah, so they are one shot. They're not going to get pushed again, are they? Oh, it needed to be a push to allow for a second shot. Oh damn, that is a little callous. Yes, I've got to read up on that whole thing, but yeah, I think you're right. It's the player needs to stay up. Because I thought I thought there was no way it's that easy to do a one-time touchdown. So at least a couple of attempts, which is always a little bit dicey. I guess if you've got a player with Juggernaut, which can turn both downs into pushes, it's going to be a lot easier. Though sadly, that's one of the skills that doesn't get used. Okay, so yes, a sprint or plus movement is going to be the key to making that more practical. Which is fair enough. I think if I was in Kvaster's position here, I would have just started passing the ball. Oh, damn. God Emperor Leto. So Leto got killed in the previous game. They're going to be badly hurt in this one. That's... Wait, who's... That's a leveled up flesh golem. Nice. So depending where the MVP goes, this could be a pretty big game for the Mausoleum Maniacs. I mean, they didn't win, but they've leveled up a flesh golem, which is going to be great. They can get block if he wants to try and develop them further, or I guess guard is fairly likely if you don't trust your ability to do anything with them, but just get them at that level. I think long-term block's probably better, but guard's going to be more impactful in the immediate. I think in an Eternal Blood Bowl league, if you're planning on keeping the team around, I think I would probably go for block as much. The thing is, I think guard is a little bit better now, but if you don't take block, I don't think you ever get block because you can't successfully ever hit someone. That's about right. Mister, you're hoping that there would be a miss next game in there. Sadly not. Oh, okay. And another zombie MVP. Oh boy. Oh boy. Alright, let's look at some of those dice. So for the Children of Dune, oof, yeah, 1 was their most rolled number in that game. Impressive. Man, 10 more 1s than there were 6s. Fantastic. For the Mausoleum Maniacs, they actually had almost a perfect spread of dice, so nothing to complain about there at all. But let's see. Let's look at some of the numbers from that one. So I always get confused by how the stats work. I should really look into them more. Let's go on to the... Let's see. So they failed their only regeneration. Anything interesting here? Wake up after KO. Yeah. Casualty rolls. I'm not actually sure what failed casualty roll means. I presume it means you broke armor but didn't injure them? But yes, Children of Dune. I presume the failing an injury roll means you got injured. Yeah, the dodges were... let's see. Oh yes, the dodges were pretty bad for the Maniacs. Yeah, they... I think... Wait. So, the successes are in blues, the failures are in orange, and then the rate of success, which you'd expect to be blue, is orange. Injury failure is getting removed from the pitch. Yeah, that's kind of weird because you're not even rolling that die, so you don't really fail an injury roll. You just get injured. So it's just kind of a bit of a weird way of putting it. For the Children of Dune, they had mostly successful dodges, which is kind of what you'd be expecting. Yeah. Man, their armor failed them about half the time, which is about right. For the Maniacs, their armor, you can see, was a lot better. Going for it, were much more favourable, I think, because the Underworld team were the ones who actually were going for it while it was snowing. Yes, I do hope for Blood Bowl 3. That's one of the reasons why I want Blood Bowl 3 to be a commercial success, is because it means they'll spend more time actively developing the game, and stuff like this, which is just really small but weird things about the game, which would literally just be a case, I suspect, of changing a line of code or two, that will get fixed, and then the game will just have less stuff about it that's annoying. I think a lot of games companies don't really value the quality of life stuff as much as they should, because quality of life things are things that players encounter every single time they play. But yeah, I mean, Blood Bowl 2, despite the fact it's presumably still a reasonable money spinner, it's not been developed for a very long time. But yeah, so it's not all done for Blood Bowl here today. I will be playing later on at 3 o'clock UK time up against Mizra's Underworld team. Let's take a little look at what's on the line there as a little tantalizing peek. So, for my squad, the Dashing Haberdashery with their very inflated team value, they're doing pretty well because It's Got a Hold of Me is now a Strength 4 Blitzer with block, diving, tackle, and jump up. Very, very nice stuff. Get Off has a block as well. And then we've got Clinging to My Skin, who's got Blodge, very close to I Must Break Free of It. So the core of the team is getting relatively well developed. I've also now got a functional lineman who's got a useful skill. And Stuffing has also killed someone, so they are on their road to eventually become useful and just getting blocked and sitting there for the rest of the time. So the team's pretty good. The team value is very high. The team treasury is pretty high as well. Yes, the jump between Blood Bowl 1 and Blood Bowl 2 was huge. Like, that was a major problem for Blood Bowl 1. I'll come back to the team discussion in a minute. But yeah, Blood Bowl 1 was a game hugely hamstrung by unclear UI and just generally not doing enough to make it easy for players to play. Blood Bowl 2 is so much better. Like, if you go back to Blood Bowl 1, the game just basically just doesn't tell you anything. If you don't know what the rules are ahead of time, it will just, you just have to figure it out by trial and error, which I give credit to Blood Bowl 2 for doing a lot there. Blood Bowl 3 could definitely do more. I think there could easily be a sort of a UI version that's directed at new players where it kind of explicitly told you a lot more stuff and asked you, confirmed if you wanted to do things like not move a player on the turn or make a dodge which is a 6+ dodge or something like that, just to make it easier for new players to get into the game and do at least passably well. Yes, and some are kind of weird. Yeah, the Blood Bowl 2 being on the console, I think in retrospect, as much as it kind of upset people, I think it did help Blood Bowl reach a bigger audience. I do think they could have sprung out for a UI that was different for PC, because the Blood Bowl 1 UI for team management was more usable. I think there was less kind of, going between screens constantly. I don't think it's I don't think it's out of this world to ask for a different UI. But I'm glad that it brought in some console players. I think if Blood Bowl 3 goes further down that road, makes it easier and more accessible, I'd love to see it as a mobile game. I think it could work as a mobile game. Maybe more, like it's more of a tablet game than it would be a phone game. But if you did like a play-by-post or something, where you didn't, you play like a turn, you could break Blood Bowl down into a series of 5-minute turns. So in that way, it is a good mobile game, but you just don't play the whole game at once. Because, yeah, that's not practical on mobile. Anyway, back to the match. So, Dashing the Haberdashery, my team, who are currently doing pretty well for themselves. I believe they've only lost the one game. And they've drawn with Green's Mean and lost to Hazard's Westeros. 3 wins so far. So, very much able to affect the top of the table. And that's exactly where Mizra is right now. 4-1 with a ridiculous touchdown difference. The only way Mizra doesn't really win the league is if someone, and that's me, beats them in this upcoming match, because Mizra not only needs to lose the matches, they need to make sure that they are not even equal with the other top teams. As I love that 2 heads, that looks incredible, so good. Alright, so the Underratted team, they've got a Murderous Blitzer with Block, Mighty Blow and Claw. They've got a plus Strength Blitzer, they've got the 2 Block Throwers, and then, of course, most importantly, Ard Guts, the 2-headed zombie. Oh, Kanuki, Mizra can't qualify through the division, really? I didn't know that. Why is that, then? That's such a cool little thing. I love that it's actually a Goblin head as well. They must have specifically coded it in for a Goblin thing. So are ramp-up teams just not eligible for that? What then? Who goes to the playoffs then? I'm discovering something new every day. But yeah, I mean, Mizra. While I wait for Kanuki to go into a bit more detail there. Oh, it's just in the ramp-up rules. Okay. Oh, that's a shame. I don't know who goes through them. I kind of don't want to go through if I beat out Mizra. Though I think that's pretty unlikely. Let's look at Mizra's games. They have been pretty ludicrous. So they got their win in ramp-up. Then they went 4-0, 3-0, 2-0. They only conceded their first goal in the last week. So I'm pretty afraid of them. Oh, there's a ramp-up specific position. Okay. Interesting. Kanuki, I guess I'd never looked into the ramp-up rules specifically. I will have to spend some time reading up on that again. Thank you for letting me know, though, because I think I would have been telling people the wrong thing otherwise for up until the end of the season, which would have been terrible. Some kind of ways, I think it's first place teams and a certain number of second place teams as the highest points. Some kind of ways you're in Division 5K. I will have to consult with the admins to try and make sure I've got a clear picture of everything that's happening there. I think there is some documentation about it, but I haven't read it since the start of the season, so I'm a bit hazy on it. I know this is probably very confusing for anyone who's watching. Yeah. Oh, Octo Chicken's 5A pre-cap. Okay, let me write that down. Octo Chicken 5A. I think I might have watched that before, actually, and said to the admins that admins didn't know either. I think I might have seen that pre-cap and said to the admin I was talking to at the time, like, why isn't this just like promoted everywhere? Because this is explaining stuff. when it's otherwise not being explained. But I don't think that really happened. So hopefully maybe for next season there will be a, you know, Octo Chicken will just kind of get spotlighted as someone who knows what the hell's going on. Ha 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 ha! Alright, so anyway, so in 3 hours and 17 minutes, my Kislev team will be going up against Mizra's underrated Underworld team in an official REBBL match. This will determine quite likely the outcome of the season itself. So hope some of you guys will come and join us for that there. So I'll be providing commentary. I think Mizra probably will be concentrating on actually playing the game. But maybe I can get someone in from the rest of the division to come in and join in on the commentary. Or if any of you guys would like to, do let me know. I'll post my Discord into the chat if any of you guys want to send me a message if you're interested in doing some commentary. For now though, I'll catch you guys a little bit later on. Thank you all for dropping by, and come back later on for even more from the best division, called 5M.